Have you ever booked a flight only to be hit with unexpected charges at the airport? You're not alone. Did you know that in 2022, airlines made over $120 billion from hidden fees alone? That's a staggering amount, and most travelers are unaware of how these costs pile up. From surprise baggage fees to mandatory resort charges, the travel industry has become a master at hiding costs. Many travelers assume that the price they see is what they'll pay, but that's far from the truth. In fact, a 2021 survey found that nearly 85% of consumers don't read the fine print before booking. This means countless travelers are left shocked and frustrated when they find out their trip costs far more than expected. In this video, we'll pull back the curtain on how the travel industry survives on hidden fees. We'll dive into the sneaky tactics airlines, hotels, and rental car companies use to boost their profits. You'll discover the truth about baggage fees, resort charges, and loyalty programs that may be more trap than treasure. Get ready to arm yourself with knowledge and learn how to travel smarter. By the end, you'll be equipped with tips to avoid these hidden costs and save money on your next adventure. Let's uncover the hidden world of travel fees together. Chapter 1. The fine print nobody reads. Let's face it, most people don't read the fine print when booking travel. But that's where the travel industry often hides its sneaky fees. According to a study by the Federal Trade Commission, over 70% of travelers don't fully understand the fees attached to their bookings. It's not just about the price tag you see up front. Extra charges are often buried deep in the terms and conditions, where most people won't look. Take airline tickets, for instance. You may find a great deal on a flight, only to discover after booking that there are additional charges for seat selection, baggage, or even printing your boarding pass. These fees can add up quickly. In 2022 alone, airlines worldwide made over $120 billion from ancillary fees. That's more than 10% of their total revenue. And it's not just airlines. Hotels, car rental companies, and even vacation rentals often include hidden fees under vague descriptions like service charges or facility fees. These charges are tacked on after you think you've paid. In some cases, the fees are only revealed when you arrive at your destination. Travel companies know this works because people rarely read or fully understand the fine print. As best-selling author Tim Wu says in The Attention Merchants, in a world of information overload, the power is not with the consumer but with the one who obscures information. That perfectly sums up how the travel industry thrives on hidden costs. They're counting on travelers to be too busy or distracted to notice. Chapter 2. Baggage battles. The price of packing. Baggage fees are one of the most frustrating hidden costs in travel. What's even more surprising is how airlines have turned luggage into a massive revenue stream. In the US alone, airlines collected over $5.8 billion in baggage fees in 2021, and that number keeps rising. The strategy behind baggage fees is simple: break down the service into smaller parts. What used to be included in the cost of your ticket, like checking a bag, now comes at an additional cost. Travelers often think they're getting a cheap flight until they realize they need to pay $30, $50, or even more to bring a bag along. And then there's the dreaded overweight baggage fee. Some airlines charge up to $200 if your bag weighs just a few pounds over the limit. Interestingly, baggage fees also serve as a psychological tool. Airlines know that travelers often don't think about these fees until they're at the airport, where they have limited options. This creates a sense of urgency and forces passengers to pay the extra fees rather than risk missing their flight. Some airlines are even experimenting with charging for carry-on luggage. This strategy takes the pricing game to a whole new level, with the goal of encouraging travelers to pay more for higher-tier tickets that include baggage allowances. According to a report by Idea Works Company, nearly half of low-cost airlines' total income now comes from baggage fees and similar extras. Chapter 3. Seat selection shenanigans. Seat selection is another sneaky area where airlines charge extra. It might seem like a small fee, but those $10 or $20 seat selection charges add up fast. In fact, airlines make over $7 billion each year from seat selection fees alone, according to a study by the consulting firm Car Trawler. What makes this strategy so clever is that it plays on the fear of uncertainty. When you book a flight, the airline often gives you the option to choose a seat for an additional fee. But if you skip this step, you run the risk of being assigned an undesirable seat, like a middle seat or one near the bathroom. For many travelers, paying a little extra for peace of mind seems worth it. But in reality, most travelers end up paying for something they didn't need to. Even more interesting is how airlines have turned seat selection into a tiered system. For example, you can pay extra for a premium seat with more legroom or one that's closer to the front of the plane. This creates the illusion of added value, even though the seat itself may not be significantly different from a regular one. It's all about maximizing revenue by offering the perception of choice. But here's the catch. Some airlines are now assigning random seats to those who don't pay for selection, even if the plane is nearly empty. This forces more people into paying the fee just to avoid getting a bad seat. It's a perfect example of how airlines use subtle pressure tactics to get travelers to spend more than they originally planned. As Freakonomics author Stephen Dubner puts it, incentives are the cornerstone of modern life. Airlines have mastered the art of using subtle incentives to get passengers to part with their money, all under the guise of offering more options. If you're finding this information eye-opening, consider subscribing to our channel. Stay updated on how to navigate the travel industry smarter and avoid those hidden fees. Chapter 4. Resort Fees, Luxury or Scam? Resort fees are one of the most controversial charges in the travel world. They are often tacked on after booking and can range anywhere from $20 to over $50 per night. Many travelers feel blindsided by these fees because they're not included in the advertised price of a room. What's worse is that resort fees are often mandatory, even if you don't use any of the amenities they supposedly cover. Hotels argue that these fees pay for extras like Wi-Fi, pool access, or gym use. But here's the kicker: many of these amenities used to be included in the room rate. So, what changed? Well, it's all about optics. By listing a lower room price and adding resort fees separately, hotels can appear cheaper than they really are. It's a marketing trick designed to lure in budget-conscious travelers who think they're getting a good deal. According to a report by the American Hotel and Lodging Association, U.S. hotels made over $3 billion from resort fees in 2019. And it's not just luxury hotels pulling this trick. Even mid-range and budget hotels have jumped on the resort fee bandwagon, adding charges for services you might not even use. The real issue here is transparency. Most travelers don't see these fees until they're in the final stages of booking or, worse, when they're checking out. By that point, it's too late to back out. This tactic, known as drip pricing, is designed to hide the true cost of a hotel stay. Behavioral economist Dan Ariely explains in his book Predictably Irrational that people tend to focus on the initial price they see and ignore or minimize additional costs. This psychological blind spot is exactly what hotels are banking on. Chapter 5. The rental car rip-off. Renting a car may seem straightforward, but hidden fees can easily double the cost. What many people don't realize is that car rental companies often advertise low rates, only to pile on extras like insurance, fuel charges, and mileage fees. According to the Federal Trade Commission, these hidden costs can add up to 45% more than the base rental price. Insurance is one of the biggest moneymakers for rental companies. They'll ask you if you want extra coverage at the counter, often without explaining that your personal car insurance or credit card may already cover you. Many travelers feel pressured to buy this coverage because they don't want to take the risk. In fact, more than half of car renters end up paying for additional insurance they don't need, according to a study by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. Fuel fees are another area where rental car companies make a killing. If you return the car without a full tank, they'll charge you a premium price for gas, sometimes twice the market rate. Some companies also charge fuel service fees, even if you do fill up the tank, claiming it covers the cost of refueling at their location. It's yet another hidden cost that can catch travelers off guard. And then there's the mileage trick. Some rental agreements include unlimited miles, while others cap your miles and charge for any extra distance driven. Many people assume unlimited miles are standard, but that's not always the case. This strategy plays on the assumption that renters won't carefully read the fine print, leading to unexpected charges when they return the car. In The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg explains how businesses thrive by shaping consumer behavior. Rental car companies have mastered this by turning small decisions, like whether to buy insurance or fill up the tank, into major revenue streams. They've learned to exploit our habits and lack of attention to the fine details. If you enjoyed this exploration of hidden fees in the travel industry, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll keep you informed with more tips and insights to make your travel experiences smarter and more enjoyable.